Long after the last human voice had vanished from Earth, a snail began crossing a garden. The journey started on a Tuesday. At least that was what the shell believed. The snail itself had no concept of Tuesday. The shell did. The shell remembered many things. It remembered rain. It remembered birds. It remembered children. It remembered cities. It remembered oceans. Most strangely of all, it remembered stars. The shell carried memories the way old trees carried rings, layer upon layer, century upon century, dream upon dream. The snail did not know why. It simply moved, slowly, always slowly, across the garden. The world had ended a very long time ago. No one knew exactly how. There was no one left to know. Perhaps machines had rebelled. Perhaps the seas had risen. Perhaps the sky had simply grown tired. The details had become dust. What remained was silence. Buildings leaned at impossible angles beneath blankets of ivy. Skyscrapers protruded from forests like broken teeth. Roads vanished beneath roots thicker than houses. Satellites occasionally flashed overhead like forgotten thoughts. The earth continued turning. The earth always continued turning. And in what had once been the courtyard of a suburban home, a garden persisted. It sprawled across cracked concrete. Wildflowers grew through rusted vehicles. Tomato vines climbed the skeleton of a collapsed swing set. Moss consumed everything. The garden had inherited the world. The snail lived there. His name, if such a thing could be applied to him, was Pilgrim. Not because anyone had named him, because the shell remembered the word. Pilgrim, traveler, wanderer, one who moves toward something he cannot fully understand. The shell liked that word, so Pilgrim carried it. Every morning he climbed onto a smooth stone and watched the sunrise. The sun always rose through the ruins of a distant city. Glass towers reflected orange light. Broken windows glittered. The world looked peaceful, too peaceful, as though it had forgotten it was supposed to be alive. Pilgrim would raise his eye stalks and study the horizon. He felt something there, a pull, a calling, not a sound, not a smell, something deeper, like a memory trying to remember itself. The sensation originated from the far side of the garden, beyond the roses, beyond the fence, beyond the giant rusted machine that lay sleeping among the weeds. Every day the feeling grew stronger. Eventually Pilgrim understood. He must go. The journey began beneath silver clouds. The first obstacle was a puddle. To a human it would have appeared insignificant. To Pilgrim it resembled an inland sea. The surface reflected stars despite it being daylight. This puzzled him. He stared into the water. The water stared back. For a long time neither moved. Then the puddle spoke. This was not unusual. Many things spoke after humanity disappeared. You are leaving? Pilgrim nodded. I am. Why? I don't know. The puddle seemed pleased. Good answer. The wind rippled its surface. Thousands of reflected stars shattered, then reassembled. Most creatures who know exactly where they are going rarely arrive. Pilgrim considered this, then continued onward. The puddle watched him leave. Safe travels, little Pilgrim. Several days later he encountered the moonflower. The moonflower grew from a crack in ancient concrete. Its white petals glowed faintly even beneath the afternoon sun. Pilgrim had never seen it before, yet it felt familiar. The flower opened one luminous eye. How old are you? Pilgrim thought carefully. 3 years. The flower laughed. No. Pilgrim looked confused. The flower pointed toward his shell. You are older than mountains. Pilgrim stared at the shell. He had always assumed it belonged to him. The idea that it possessed an existence beyond his own had never occurred to him. What do you mean? The moonflower's petals shifted softly. Listen. Pilgrim listened. At first he heard only wind, then something else. Very faint. A distant echo. Children laughing. Birds singing. Traffic. Music. The sounds vanished almost immediately, yet they had existed. Somewhere, inside the shell. The moonflower closed its eye. Your shell remembers everything. Everything? Almost. The flower smiled sadly. That is a difficult burden. The farther Pilgrim traveled, the stranger the garden became. Flowers whispered mathematics. Bees debated philosophy. Mushrooms recited history to passing worms. The world felt crowded with invisible thoughts. One evening he discovered a rusted machine protruding from a hill. Trees grew through its hollow body. Roots wrapped around steel bones. A faded logo remained visible on one side. Pilgrim could not read it, but the shell remembered. Automobile, car, transportation, road trip, vacation, family. The memories struck suddenly, not his memories, someone else's. A little girl asleep in the back seat, parents singing along to music, sunlight through windows, the smell of French fries. Pilgrim froze. Tears appeared unexpectedly. He did not understand why. The memories weren't his, yet somehow the loss felt personal. For the first time he wondered, where had all the people gone? The garden offered no answer, only wind. Months passed. Winter arrived. Snow transformed the world into a silent white universe. Pilgrim sheltered beneath an overturned flower pot. The shell dreamed. Inside the dream he stood among stars, billions of them. They surrounded him in every direction. A vast cosmic ocean. And there, drifting between galaxies, floated countless shells. Trillions, each glowing softly, each carrying memories. The shells orbited one another like planets, like souls, like archives. A voice emerged from the darkness. We preserve what is loved. Pilgrim searched for the speaker, found none. The voice continued. We preserve what is lost. The stars brightened, so nothing disappears completely. Pilgrim awoke before dawn. Snow still covered the garden, but something had changed. He no longer felt alone. Spring returned. Pilgrim resumed his journey. The calling had grown much stronger. Now he could almost see it. Not physically, emotionally. A feeling waiting beyond the horizon. A destination, a purpose, or perhaps an ending. Eventually he reached the fence, the garden's border, a towering wall of ancient wood and rusted wire. Beyond it lay unknown territory. Pilgrim climbed. The ascent lasted days. Rain battered him. Wind pushed him backward. Several times he nearly fell. Yet he continued, slowly, always slowly. Finally he reached the top. The view stole his breath. Beyond the fence stretched another garden, and another, and another. Thousands, millions, an endless patchwork extending across the remains of civilization. The entire planet had become one enormous wilderness. Flowers covered highways. Forests swallowed cities. Life consumed everything. Pilgrim stared for hours. The world had survived, just not humanity. Years passed. The journey continued. Pilgrim grew older. His movements slowed. His shell grew heavier. The calling remained ahead, always ahead. Sometimes he wondered if he would ever arrive. Sometimes he wondered whether arrival existed. Perhaps movement itself was the purpose. Perhaps the universe simply enjoyed travelers. One evening he met an ancient tortoise beside a stream. The tortoise appeared impossibly old. Mountains seemed younger. They sat together beneath stars. After a long silence, the tortoise asked, "Do you know where you're going?" Pilgrim smiled. "Not exactly." "Good." The tortoise nodded approvingly. Those who know too much often stop looking. The stream gurgled quietly. Stars reflected in the water. The tortoise closed his eyes. "I spent 2 centuries searching for answers. Did you find them?" The tortoise laughed. "No." "Then what did you find?" The old creature smiled. "Better questions." At last, after many years, Pilgrim reached the center of the calling. The place that had pulled him across the world. It was not a temple, not a city, not a secret. It was a garden gate, nothing more. An ordinary white garden gate standing alone among wildflowers. Weathered, ancient, beautiful. The gate led nowhere. There was no fence attached, only the gate. Pilgrim approached slowly. His entire journey had led here. For this, he felt disappointment, confusion, sadness, years of travel. For a gate? Then the shell began glowing, softly, gently, like moonlight. Memories poured outward. Thousands, millions, laughter, love, births, songs, conversations, farewells. Every life the shell had ever preserved, every beautiful thing it had carried. The memories drifted through the air like fireflies. Pilgrim watched in wonder. The gate slowly opened. Beyond it was not another place. Beyond it was the night sky, an impossible sky. Stars stretched infinitely in every direction. The same stars from his dream. The voice returned. "We remember." Pilgrim trembled. "Who are you?" The stars brightened. "We are memory." The universe seemed to inhale. "We are what remains." More memories floated upward. Children, artists, dreamers, strangers, entire civilizations, not alive, not dead, remembered. Pilgrim finally understood. The shell had never belonged to him. He had belonged to it. He had carried humanity's memories across a dying world. One final journey. One final pilgrimage. Not to save anyone. Not to change anything. Simply to bring remembrance home. The shell's glow intensified. Cracks appeared across its surface. Tiny at first, then larger. Pilgrim felt no fear, only gratitude. The stars waited patiently. The gate remained open. The universe felt kind, not happy, not sad, simply kind. The show broke apart. Millions of luminous memories rose into the sky. The laughter of forgotten children, the voices of vanished cities, the songs nobody sang anymore, all of it ascending, returning. Pilgrim watched until the final light disappeared among the stars. Then silence returned. The gate closed. The night became ordinary once more. The cosmic vision vanished. Only wildflowers remained, and one very old snail. Morning arrived. Pilgrim sat alone beneath the sunrise. His show was gone. The memories were gone. The calling was gone. For the first time in his life, he felt entirely empty. The sensation hurt more than he expected. He had spent so long carrying eternity that he no longer knew who he was without it. The garden stretched endlessly before him, beautiful, quiet, uncertain. Pilgrim watched sunlight spill across the ruins of the world. Then, slowly, he began moving again. Not because a voice called, not because destiny waited, not because the universe demanded it. Simply because there was another morning, and another garden, and another horizon. Far above him, hidden among countless stars, fragments of memory glittered forever. The people were gone, the cities were gone, the songs were gone, yet somehow they remained. And below them, crossing a garden one impossible inch at a time, an old snail continued his journey through a world that had forgotten humanity, but somehow remembered love. Slowly, always slowly, toward whatever came next.